The trickiest part is really trying to figure out how these guys match up. Now we're going to move everything down just a little bit because we're going to overbuild and then trim out the bottom. Just went into a wireframe view to see how much room we have underneath of the body of the shoe. Creating a sketch for the side profile trim. Just tweaking the spline here. I'm going to extrude this and then modify it a little bit so that it matches up with the bottom of the shoe. And now we're going to leave our sculpting environment, start making some preliminary trims and see how things actually ended up matching up. I'm taking the original surface, offsetting that. I'm going to be using this to trim the top of the sole. Just using the trim tool. Trim out the bottom, trim out the top. And then we start seeing our geometry, which at this point is pretty wonky. So we're going to go back in the history a little bit and modify the T-spline body. And we're just going to continue to modify this thing until we get to a point where we're happy with all the intersections. Here I'm just doing a quick measurement using a line from the side view. And here, as I'm continuing to edit the side profiles here, I'm noticing that the tangencies are actually starting to break. So I'm actually going in there in the vertex mode and linking all the handles on for the outside edges. This is one of my most aggravating things about T-splines. I would actually rather have them always be linked, and I figure out a way to deal with them otherwise, but so be it. And just continuing to go around and modify these profiles. And when we're finally happy with these, we'll combine all of the surfaces together, knit them together, create a solid body. And now we're going to begin working on the detail of how these guys combine with the main body of the shoe. Just going to create a side trim profile. Going to create a offset of, again, our original surface body, and use that to merge with the bottom of the shoe. So I'm just using this to trim out that body. Thickening this surface here, and then I'll combine this with the sole that we've created. And just adding some fillets at the front edge here. Kind of make it merge together a little bit better. Filleting the side. Adding some final radii here. And as I was looking at this and viewing this from the side view, I decided that it was too flat not to be completely flat, so I'm just taking this trim body and flattening this guy out. So now the main portion of our sole is more or less done at this point, and we're just going to begin to add some details on the bottom. So for creating the detail on the bottom of the shoe, first we're going to copy some of the reference geometry that we've used before. For example, the bottom trim profile. And now we're going to create a sketch from the bottom, and we're just going to offset some of the geometry that we have. So we're going to offset this, and then we're going to trim out some of the top because I don't want the offset to go all the way to the top. And then I'm going to create a spline, and unfortunately I couldn't get this to be tangent with the offset geometry, so I'm just going to eyeball it and then fill it the hell out of it.